Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Opioid overdose cases are on the rise in Steuben County. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg reports on what the county is doing to address the problem.
The Steuben County Health Department has released opioid overdose-related data for the past 2 years. The health department began utilizing a new software called Overdose Detection Mapping Application Program, or ODMAP, to help keep track of overdose cases.
It's a very effective tool to be able to track overdoses, overdose fatalities, the whether or not Narcan or naloxone was administered during that overdose.
In 2021, there were 246 suspected overdoses, 13 fatalities, and 102 administrations of Narcan medication. In 2022, the county had 289 suspected overdoses, 12 fatalities, and 92 reported uses of Narcan. This data only includes overdoses that utilized medical intervention, meaning the numbers are likely higher.
Those numbers are definitely trending up. It is of great concern to all of us, which is why we really are trying to, focus on this right now and try to make the data and the information available to the community.
So far in January alone this year, Steuben County has reported 22 overdose cases, 7 Narcan administrations, and 1 fatality.
The drugs are dangerous. They're just plain dangerous, and they're more dangerous now than they used to be because you do not know if they have been laced with fentanyl.
If you or someone you know is struggling with opioid addiction and would like to get help, you can contact the Steuben County Substance Abuse Services or Casa Trinity in Hornell. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Steuben County.
Tompkins County residents now have an easier way to access mental health resources. The Sophie Fund has teamed up with community organizations to create a consolidated guide for mental health resources in the county. The 2-page document provides phone numbers and website links to suicide prevention, addiction recovery services, sexual assault resources, and many other support systems. An Ernie Davis Academy student arrested on arson charges for starting a fire at the school in January. According to the Chemung County Sheriff's Office, the fire started in the boys' bathroom on January 31st. The fire was contained to a paper towel dispenser and was set off during a lunch period. The fire was eventually put out by school staff and the Elmira Fire Department. After an investigation, a juvenile student was identified and arrested. Dustin Drake has been found not guilty by a jury on all charges against him. The charges he faced were a result of a 2019 car crash that killed Corby Higgins, Coy Minor Jr., Nicole Wise, and Adam Bellamy. Drake has been found not guilty on all counts, including aggravated vehicular homicide and a felony DWI charge. President Biden hits the road today to begin advancing the agenda he outlined in last night's State of the Union address. Doug Luzader has reaction to the speech.
This was an opportunity for the president to address the nation in advance of what we expect will be a bid for a second term, and it did get heated at times.
I have the high privilege and the distinct honor to present to you the President of the United States.
The new Speaker of the House introducing President Biden, who enjoyed a bipartisan welcome and declared the nation was strong.
Though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
But the divisions soon became clear, with a vocal Republican pushback when the president accused the GOP of refusing to raise the debt ceiling to push for cuts in social programs.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
As expected, the president referenced last week's shoot-down of a Chinese spy balloon just off the East Coast.
As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
There was tough talk in support of Ukraine as well. He touched on immigration, gun control, and police violence. And while his opposition was not shy, the president enjoyed enthusiastic support from Democrats here, a key element as he's expected to kick off a re-election campaign in coming weeks.
He's the oldest president in American history.
New Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders delivered the GOP response and went after Biden on social issues.
I'm the first woman to lead my state, and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is.
The president heads to Madison, Wisconsin today to drive home his economic themes, and then he travels to Florida on Thursday. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Today, children's lives are saturated with social media and the pressures of society. Our Maggie Hall spoke with some students today about how they escape those pressures through the performing arts.
Performing arts helps kids explore their imaginations and their world. Today, Big Fox News spoke to some students over at the Corning Painted Post Middle School who are in a production of James and the Giant Peach about what theater means to them. For students involved, the musical gives them an opportunity to meet people they might not in their everyday lives.
I really like being involved in theater because it lets you meet people from other grade levels that you don't usually see, and you just get a sense of closeness with the school.
Theater allows students to be themselves.
I just like how it's a place where you can show yourself, not through just talking, and you can express it through emotions, dancing, acting, singing, etc.
I like that it kind of helps you develop new skills. I developed a lot of self-confidence being on stage a lot.
And for some, there isn't just one thing they like about the theater.
My favorite part about theater is all of it.
Theater is always moving forward.
So I think we have an opportunity to marry that digital era as well with the on-stage era of yesteryear. We notice that a lot of kids really aren't on their phones when they're engaged in rehearsal, which is fantastic. And they're really learning to manage that technology rather than have it be something that is interfering with their daily lives.
To buy tickets for James and the Giant Peach, go to cppasd.com/tickets. Theater gives kids a chance to be themselves and learn more about that self and the world around them. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
Today is National School Crossing Guard Day, and staff members at Facet Elementary in Elmira celebrated the school's crossing guard, Alice, earlier this morning. Alice has lived in Elmira her whole life and has been a crossing guard for 38 years. Crossing guards like Alice help keep our children safe each and every day. This Saturday, Corning businesses will host 3 hours of giveaways and specials. Starting at 10 a.m., businesses like Connors Mercantile and Tommy Hilfiger will host giveaways and selfie stations. The Gaffer District has this bingo card as well, that if you receive 8 stamps from 8 businesses, you can be entered to win a prize valued at $250. You can visit the Gaffer District's website for more details. A winter festival is coming to the streets of Corning. Chill will begin on February 17th and go until the 19th. The event, held on Bridge Street, will consist of local vendors, snowboard demonstrations, and an ice carving competition. Local bars and restaurants will also have specialty crafted winter pairings available throughout the weekend. Rain could possibly be moving into the area tomorrow. We'll have your complete forecast next, plus this.
Many of our nation's animals, plants, and natural habitats are on the brink of destruction. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at a shocking new study coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
It was a gorgeous blue sky day, even almost feeling spring-like with that snow melt and temperatures climbing near the 50s. Now switches will be coming as we head into the overnight. Those clear skies will have some increasing cloud cover, holding temperatures to around that freezing mark into early Thursday morning, where there may be a slight time frame of some freezing or icing potential, which could create some slick conditions at onset. But then we will see that transition over to some rain showers throughout the rest of our Thursday underneath some scattered showers. Now we'll have the threat of icing to then some light rainfall to then the concern being some stronger winds coming late on Thursday into Friday morning, which will have some wind switch to it that is going to bring us some slightly cooler conditions. So we have different phases of the system that will push on through into the end of our work week. So first phase is going to again be that icing potential. We have some still clear skies by midnight, but then this first round of showers is going to be that warm front. So at onset, again, a little bit of icing there, but transition over to light showers in place. Throughout the day Thursday, we do have a fairly dry atmosphere, but some scattered to isolated showers will be in place, but we're not expecting much for accumulation from this entire system. As mentioned, some slight icing is noted. You can see that slight pink contour there. Number-wise, though, pretty minimal. Again, 1/100 of an inch there, especially with the early morning arrival. It could create just that little bit of a slick sidewalk, driveway, and roadway to then bring in that rainfall that will melt that down and bring in accumulations just to about a few tenths of an inch up to 1/4 of an inch possible. So pretty light rainfall throughout the entire day underneath some gloomy skies, but then also factoring in some stronger winds. As we head into Thursday afternoon, we are within that warm sector. As mentioned, that first round of rainfall is that warm front. So that's going to give us some southerly winds throughout the daytime, getting upwards of about 30 miles per hour. We'll keep those strong winds into the overnight Thursday, but what we see in the overnight Thursday is going to be the switch of those winds, which is going to bring a northwesterly wind and bring us some cooling. So a warm southerly wind will allow for another pretty mild day temperature-wise. We'll see pretty similar temperatures to what we saw today. It's just ultimately going to feel a little bit cooler due to some wet conditions and those gloomy skies. But then as that strong wind does continue to push through as we head into our Friday, that cooling will be in place. We'll see 30s there up through Wayland, but mid-40s. The cloud cover is what's going to help keep that warming at the surface, so we're not going to drop those temperatures until we head into Saturday. There will be some clearing, which allows for our low temperatures to fall into those 20s throughout the weekend, and then Saturday with clear skies in place, highs will hold into those 30s. All that heat that we have trapped in those mostly cloudy skies will be able to be released, which means that it will be some limited warming with still a slight northerly wind on Saturday, but then that wind quickly switches and we are back to more of those spring-like temperatures with some sunshine into Monday.
CVS digs into primary care services. Another tech company announces layoffs, and people are back to riding Uber in a big way. Jackie DeAngelis has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
A healthcare giant is getting bigger. Drugstore chain CVS is buying Oak Street Health, a company with clinics that focus on healthcare for older adults. The deal is valued at more than $10.5 billion. Oak Street has 169 medical centers across 21 states. And more layoffs in tech. eBay is cutting around 4% of its staff, approximately 500 jobs. It's seeing lower spending after business surged early in the pandemic. Chipotle Mexican Grill says it was paying for more sick pay and medical expenses in its recent quarter, and sales were depressed during the holiday season. Its earnings were disappointing, though Chipotle recently revealed plans to hire 15,000 people in preparation for what it's calling burrito season. Uber made a profit in its holiday quarter. It was expected to see a loss. The rideshare company is also upbeat about the current quarter. Uber says it ended last year with its strongest quarter ever. It was seeing robust demand and record margins. And mortgage rates declined again last week as measured by the Mortgage Bankers Association. The average for a 30-year fixed-rate loan was 6.18%. Demand for purchases and refinances both rose. That's business. I'm Jackie DeAngelis.
More than 1/3 of the nation's plants and animals are at risk of disappearing forever. Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look at the results of an alarming new study.
A new report from conservation research group NatureServe finds 40% of animals and 34% of plants in the U.S. are at risk of extinction. Data also cites how 41% of the country's ecosystems could collapse.
When you have a habitat and species start going extinct or becoming smaller in number, eventually that can cause the collapse of that habitat type.
The report analyzes 50 years worth of data, revealing some of the most at-risk animals include freshwater creatures like amphibians, crayfish, snails, and more.
Another one of the groups of species that the report showed is really at risk is freshwater mussels. They're what filters the water and keeps it clean. If you care about going fishing with your son or your daughter, you're going to care about having clean, dynamic rivers.
37% of bee species are also vulnerable.
There are plants that we depend on that are only pollinated by insects, and if the insects collapse, we won't have access to that crop anymore.
Meanwhile, roughly half of the nation's species of cacti and 200 species of trees are also at risk of being wiped out. Researchers also point to grasslands and wetlands as ecosystems requiring more protection. The study primarily shows California and Texas, as well as portions of the Southeast, are home to many of the wildlife at risk. The report lists climate change, invasive species, and dams as some of the main factors threatening our nation's biodiversity.
Still ahead, medical professionals say heart disease remains a leading cause of death for men and women. How improving your heart health could help you live a longer life, coming up. No matter how active you are, or how healthy your diet is, medical professionals say regular checkups to review the state of your heart are important. Anna Eliopoulos takes a look at what you can do to ensure your heart is in tip-top shape.
Do you know how healthy your heart is? With February marking American Heart Month, medical officials say knowing your risk factors for heart disease could be a matter of life or death.
It's extremely important to talk about heart disease because it's the leading cause of death for men and women globally.
According to the CDC, nearly half of all Americans have at least one of 3 key risk factors for developing heart disease, which include high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and being a smoker.
When we think about the primary risk factors, these are things that you work on towards preventing the actual heart disease from happening. And that consists of hypertension, managing high cholesterol, managing obesity, and really taking a hard look at what we are consuming.
But while maintaining a healthy diet that's low in sodium, but high in fresh produce, whole grains, and lean meats can reduce your risks for heart disease, other risk factors such as age and ethnicity are out of your control.
We know that African American and Hispanic populations are more prone to having hypertension. As an example, hypertension is one aspect of heart disease.
Health officials, meantime, also recommend staying physically active to promote good heart health. But besides keeping your body in shape, medical professionals say your mental health also shouldn't be ignored.
Engaging in some relaxation, some deep breathing to help really ground ourselves and decrease that stress, which often can lead to hypertension or high blood pressure.
Rihanna is just days away from taking over the Super Bowl field as this year's halftime show headliner, and her return to the stage has been a long time coming. The global pop icon last performed at the 2018 Grammy Awards, and she hasn't released a new album since 2016's Anti. But the Grammy-winning superstar has been staying busy, accomplishing several feats in both her personal and professional life. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with a look at what Rihanna's been up to since the release of her last record.
All eyes will be on Rihanna when she makes her major return to the stage and solidifies her legacy during her highly anticipated halftime show performance at Super Bowl 57 on Sunday. It will be her first public performance since 2018, and fans are already getting into the bad gal Riri spirit. Something in the way you move. Supporters from 32 NFL teams joined forces to sing Rihanna's hit song Stay in preparation of her musical comeback. Work, 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 work. While it's been more than 6 years since the Grammy-winning singer dropped an album, she scored her first Oscar nomination for the song Lift Me Up from the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack. In between releasing her 2016 Anti album and earning award show recognition, Rihanna made big screen appearances. She starred in the sci-fi adventure Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and alongside the A-list female cast in Ocean's 8. The global superstar was also busy building her fashion and beauty empire. She launched her cosmetic line Fenty Beauty in September 2017, followed by her Savage X Fenty lingerie collection in 2018, which had its 4th fashion show on Prime Video. The business ventures, along with her music, elevated the pop icon to one of the world's most exclusive ranks. In 2021, Forbes magazine declared the singer a billionaire with a net worth of $1.7 billion. Her biggest role came in May 2022 when she welcomed her son with boyfriend A$AP Rocky. Rihanna is now getting game day ready by revealing a new Savage X Fenty collection as fans get ready to see what the pop icon has in store for the big stage. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Stay with us. We have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. LEGO is releasing a new Lord of the Rings set. The set is a recreation of Rivendell, the sanctuary for the elves. It has more than 6,000 pieces and comes with 15 minifigures, including Frodo, Gandalf, Legolas, Pippin, and Elrond. The enormous set costs $500 and will be available first on March 5th for LEGO VIP members. It will be released for everyone else on March 8th. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you for watching.